we're going to look at the Postioning Spacer. What I'd like for you to do is, like, when you first start looking at these problems, you need to start looking at, like, radius. For these things are called center lines. A center line is usually an indicator that there's something else coming off of it, like the center of a circle or maybe an angle. So when I look at this right here, I have a center line, and then attached to that center line there is a dimension. So we've got a dimension that has a radius of 6 inches. Also, we've got off this vertical axis, we have 2 degrees. We have a 30 degree on the right hand side and a 45 degree on the left hand side. So that right there in itself gives you enough information for you to start laying out the key elements for this Postioning Spacer. So when I look back, here's the center of the circle, the 6-inch radius, and you can see that the 30 degrees and the 45 degrees also goes down to that point. So this is going to be like a good starting point. I'm probably going to put this at 0, 0. Does it have to be at 0, 0? No, but you might as well put something there. So we'll just type in 0, 0 for the location of that circle. And I think I forgot to hit circle. So circle diameter, 0, 0, make it 1.25. Okay, so from this line right here, I'm going to take a line up, and I'm just going to draw a line 6 inches. Okay, because that is the radius for the center right here. I'm going to draw another line, and I'm going to draw the line 6 inches, and I'm going to do it 30 degrees off of 90. So that's 30 degrees off 90. So 90 minus 30 is going to be 60. So I'm going to type in 6 tab 60. And then the other side, I'm going to go from the same center point, 6 tab, and this time it's 90 plus 45, which is 135. So 135. Now, I can go ahead, I can physically draw this circle if I want. I can physically draw that radius of 6 inches if I want to have that, if it makes you feel better, if you can see that. All right, so now this is kind of like the bones for the rest of this problem. I've got the location for the three circles that are located here. Let's look at some of the notes for this problem. So up here at the top, you have a 2x diameter 1. That means that 2 places, all right, a quantity of 2, you're going to have a diameter of 1 inch. So this one right here, it's pointing to it, so that's one of them. And so you need to look at the other 2 circles. All right, this one already has a diameter of 1.25. We've already drawn that one. So this is the other one. So that automatically tells me that the diameter for these other 2 circles is a 1 inch diameter. So I can go ahead and draw those. And I can locate that. All right. So that gives me some good information. The other things I'm going to look at is going to be the outside radius. So when I look over here, I see the 1.25 and the TYP. What does TYP stand for? Typical. All right. So unless there's another dimension pointing to one of the outside arcs of these circles, then I'm going to assume that each one of these circles is going to have a radius of 1.25. So I'm going to go up here to circle, go to radius, and then go ahead and draw the 1.25 radius. And you can either draw that, or you can use the copy after you've done it one time. I'm going to copy it just to show you a little bit different. When I copy stuff, the first thing it asks me is for the base point. So that's going to be the center. And then it asks me to specify the second point. So I want it to be the end point or the center of each one of these other circles. So I can easily copy that as well. So now I have the 3 outside circles, and now we can lay out some other things. So let's go ahead and start with this arc out here. Now, there's a couple ways that you can cheat this. You can you can physically draw this. You can look at the radius. The radius, if you take the 6-inch radius and then you add the radius right here, that would give you this outside radius, which is what? 7.25. 6 plus 1.25 is 7.25. That's one way of doing it. An easy way of doing it, if you want, and I'll just show you this little extra thing. So if I had extended this line out right here, you will see that I'm just looking at, what I'm looking at is the fact that this intersection right here, if I draw a circle from the center here up to that point, it's the exact same thing. So circle radius, pick the center, and then I can go right up here to that line. So that would give me a 7.5 radius. Let's just look at that dimension and make sure. And there we go. It is exactly the same. So you can kind of lay this out whatever you're thinking. If that's the way you think, then you can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and trim these two circles. I'm going to go ahead and erase this one just to kind of eliminate some stuff going on this drawing. I'm now going to do the line tangent, tangent to this circle, tangent to that one. Okay. Now, what else could I have done for that one? Well, I don't think I can do anything else. Just tangent for that. Now, yeah, this one over here is going to be tan radius. So I'm going to go pick my tangent inside of the circle. So I like to look at the point. I like to look at the point right here and right here. That's where it's actually tangent. So I want to pick somewhere in that same area. I don't want to go all the way on this side of the circle. I don't want to be on this side of the circle. I want to pick it somewhere where I know the tangent point is going to be located. So I'm going to pick somewhere on the inside here, and then I'm going to type in the radius, which is 2.5 that was specified, and that's going to give me that hole in the right place. So I'm going to go back to trim, and I'm going to use these two circles as my boundary, and I'm going to get rid of that part of the circle. I'm going to go ahead and erase these lines. And I'm going to trim off some of the other stuff. I'm going to hit enter to make everything trimmable. And now I'm stuck with this right here. So now we need to move to the inside. I'm going to back up because I just realized that I trimmed out those circles right there and I need those. So I'm going to hit my undo button to bring those back. So I'm going to use the offset command. The 0.75 typical, that tells us that this line is going to be offset 0.75, and then the this inside one here is going to be 0.75, and that's going to be 0.75. So I'm going to click on offset and type in 0.75 and go back over here and click each one of those points. And now I'm ready to trim. I forgot about that when I was just doing that. So trim, I'm going to hit enter, make everything trimmable, and I'm going to start to get rid of Alright, so that gives me the inside. So anytime you trim, and if you have other little lines that are hanging out there and you didn't get them on the trim, just erase those. Now, the note right here, the rounds and fillets, it tells you that this radius is 0.5. So now I'm going to use my fillet command. So the fillet command, when you click on that, the first thing you have to do is specify the radius. So make sure you click on radius and then type in the dimension. Alright, so when you use the fillet command, you're going to be selecting two objects, the first object and the second object, and it's going to bring those two objects together with an arc. So Oh yes, 0.5. Thank you. Good eye. So fillet radius 0.5, and now let me pick those two. And I'm going to hit multiple, so that way it will keep going. It'll keep prompting me, and I don't have to go back and hit that each time. So clicking on multiple will definitely save you a little bit of time. So there we go, and that is all we need for that positioning spacer.